welcome to the shot of the day. Let's talk a little Kansas City Chiefs football. Yeah. Hey, Redskins. You like that? You like that? You like that? Chiefs beat the Redskins 29-20 on Monday Night Football. Hey, Redskins. You want me to introduce you to a couple friends of mine that you met at Arrowhead last night? A little pow, a little wow, pow, wow, pow, wow, pow, wow, pow, wow. Boom, big victory. Those are games the Chiefs have to win if they want to be in contention of a Super Bowl, if they want to be considered the best team in the NFL, which the jury's still out on that. But they got to win those games at home, prime time. They got to win it. But let's face it, they got a little lucky, okay? And sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Redskins, hell of a team. Hell of a team. I think they outplayed the Chiefs in a lot of respects last night. Aspects. I give respect to the aspects that they outplayed the Chiefs in last night. I think defense, those Redskins can hit to the point they were hurting themselves. Captain Kirk, he can throw that ball down the field. He said this game would be a dogfight. Kirk Cousins said this game would be a dogfight. He didn't realize we had Michael Vick as a preseason assistant coach. So who's going to win a dogfight? Boom! Pow! Wow! Pow! Wow! I mean, big win. Good win. Saw some alarming things. We started off slow. Marcus Peters, only guy who sat last night during the national anthem, which I support his right to do that. I 100% support the right of oppressed millionaires to, protest. I do. And the home of the he sat, and then he sat again in the end zone as Terrell Pryor, a quarterback, burned him on a 44-yard touchdown pass from Cousins from quarterback to quarterback. Peters got burned last night. Josh Norman proved to be, until he got hurt, the better, cornerback in the league over Peters. I like Peters. He's a great cornerback, but the problem with protesting is maybe the refs aren't going to give you that call. Did Pryor push off? He pushed off a little. Maybe Peters mistimed his jump as he mistimed his protest, because that could be affecting the calls he gets on the field. I back my Chiefs players to protest if they want to, but realize they're going to have consequences. Maybe the change outweighs the consequences, but Peters didn't get that call on the field. Maybe it had something to do with this protesting, maybe not. And thou who protests too much, Travis Kelce, dude is starting to whine more than Philip Crimea Rivers. He got maybe, a penalty on that one, Pele call, but he protested. He's not going to get calls either. And these guys need to realize that, hey, you don't think the refs can be biased in any way? Let's just face it. And that could cost us down the road. But let's talk about the game. Those Redskins, like I said, they're a good team. Our defense had a real problem with them. Vernon Davis, probably the most well-conditioned athlete in the NFL, even though he's 87 years old, made Justin Houston look like he lost a step. Love me some Houston. At the end of the game there, big play, just a little cap, a little icing on the cake, a little cherry on top, but he almost went Leon Lett, or former Chiefs player Marcus Cooper for the Bears, almost lost that ball, which it wouldn't have meant anything at that point anyway. The game was already over. Thanks to, a field goal by our kicker. They tried to ice him, but we'll call him Vanilla Ice Baby. No Ice Baby. We'll call him No Vanilla Ice. No Ice Baby. Doesn't affect the rookie kicker, though he did miss his first kick. Maybe he was going Kareem Hunt, with his first. Kareem Hunt fumbled his first carry. Then is awesome. Hopefully the same applies to this rookie. He missed his first kick. Now maybe he'll be perfect, here on out. I'm a little upset with Andy Reid. Last week, you can look at my video on the comments section. I had already nicknamed the guy Butt Kicker. Harrison Butt Kicker. I trademarked that last week. Andy Reid took credit for it last night, but that's okay. I'll give the Big Red one, that one, since the Big Red one. I like the Kool-Aid man. You gotta love him. But I'm a little concerned, I give Alex Smith a lot of problems. Yeah, the offensive line is a big part of it, puts him under pressure, but it's how he reacts to pressure. He had a big play to who I'm going to call Clutch from now on. I've given a lot of shit to Albert Wilson, who continues to make the team, who is Alex Smith's whoopee, and that whoopee came good last night. I mean, it went total Linus from the Peanuts cartoon. Alex Smith had his whoopee, his blanket, throwing it down to Albert Wilson at that last drive of the game. The clutch. We'll call Albert Wilson Clutch because he shows up. Okay, when he's a blue collar player, you gotta love that work ethic. He's clutch. Caught that ball against the helmet, a la Giants against the Patriots. In the Super Bowl, and took one hell of a hit, helmet to helmet, and he got up, and that freaking Redskins play, he was quivering. I thought he might have been that, which we don't want to see, but He went for a head-to-head shot. Should have been a penalty on top of that. But Alex Smith did something in that play that he has, and I will give him credit for. He had to run out of the pocket, and we'll get to the offensive line here shortly. And usually Alex Smith can do one of two things when he leaves the pocket, okay? He's either going to throw the ball away or sideways, or he's going to run. Very rarely can Alex Smith throw on the run and throw on the run well. He did it very well last night. He overthrew Conley, which I'm just disappointed in Conley. Why he can't get separation and why every catch is an adventure with that guy is beyond me. He has got to step up to make this passing game work a little bit better and free up Tyreek Hill, who the second game in a row has done just average. I mean, we got Kareem Hunt over 100 yards, Travis Kelce over 100 yards, so that works. The offensive line does not give, that's a big concern, okay? Eric, Fisher did play last night, even though he had back spasms. I'm going to call his new nickname is Spaz. Not only because of the back spasms, but you don't know what Spaz is going to show up. If he's going to pass block or get on roller skates. Eric Fisher, an overrated number 1 overall pick, hasn't really lived up to that at all. He's good, serviceable left tackle, but I think we'll have to address that in the future. We lost probably our best offensive lineman, the Canadian. I don't even know how to use Pepe Le Pew, Laurent, whatever his name is. He's Canadian. I love him. He's probably our best offensive lineman. I will nickname him, since he's Canadian, the Snow Mexican. The Snow Mexican got hurt. We have Mitch Morris out with the foot injury. Hopefully he can come back. We use Zach Fulton, who's done a great job, maybe in another area if need be. But we've lost the Snow Mexican for a little bit, our offensive lineman, which we'll find out how good Canadian healthcare is. Everybody brags about it. Hopefully he can get back soon with that free Canadian healthcare. God knows Obamacare, if he has to rely on that, he won't be back for 3 years. They may have to cut his leg off, Civil War style. Speaking of which, this, let's go talk some history here. This, in today's standards, in today's crazy world, was the most racist matchup in the NFL history. Chiefs versus Redskins. Does it get any more racist than that? I mean, come on now. I mean, the winner should get a casino. That's all I'm saying. And since the Chiefs won, there was obviously more Chiefs. And there was too many Chiefs, not enough Indians for the Redskins yesterday. Why? Because they were all getting hurt, dropping like they got free blankets mixed with smallpox. It was sad. I love the Redskins. I think they outplayed the Chiefs. They are a great team, If that's played in D.C., the Swamp, the Chiefs drained the Swamp at home, but I don't think they could drain the Swamp in D.C. The Redskins would be, let's face it, the Chiefs get a casino because they got lucky last night. Philip Gaines should buy lottery tickets because he got lucky last night. That rookie, wide receiver, I can't think of his name right now. I want to say DaCosta, something like that. I'm blanking. I'm brain farting here. But, dude, I don't know how he dropped that ball. He had it caught. It was an amazing. He's got sick hops. Sick hops. He's like, he's like a rabid rabbit. Sick hops. Rabbit. That's his nickname. Rabid rabbit. Sick hops. But Hal Philip Gaines just got totally lucky. Chiefs got totally lucky on that. Let's be honest. You see some differences, like with Kirk Cousins. He's quick strike. He only needs a 2-play scoring drive, a la the Vernon Davis. Alex Smith, until that last drive when we needed it, and we're showing strong as a second half team, which is always important. I think we're deferring and always getting the balls, and that's important. But we did not show up the first half. That will eventually, we got to start playing more complete games. But in today's world, the NFL is so bizarre with who's winning, who's doing what week to week. It's a bizarre, who knows. Our offensive line, has trouble in the beginning, but that's because of the practice rules. Offensive linemen, they got to practice more than other members to gel, especially when you have players being replaced by injury. You got to give them a little more practice time, which the NFL and the Players Union doesn't allow. So we're going to have this, and Alex Smith is going to be continued under pressure, which that's not Alex Smith's fault. What is how he reacts to it. Last night, last drive, he stepped up big, but he did turtle some yesterday under the pressure. You can see him. He's like this, and he turtles. And he didn't go down the field as much as he should have, at least with any success. Tyreek Hill not involved deep down the field, a little safer play, a little more conservative. Alex Smith, prefers to take 14, 15 play drives to score a touchdown where Kirk Cousins can do it in 2 or 3, with success. And, Alex Smith, proved me wrong, came up big at the end with that Albert Wilson, the clutch, that's his new nickname, Albert Wilson clutch, because, to get the offense in gear, he's Alex Smith's whoopee. You got to push in the clutch before you can put it into gear, and Albert Wilson is that blue-collar clutch. I mean, because someone described it the other day, 2 types of quarterbacks. Trucks, trailers. Trucks can, plow through, lead the charge. Trailers need to be pulled by other, players around him, and Alex Smith needs that support. He passed the ball around. He tries to spread it. He's a bit of a communist. Maybe, that's why he's wearing red. Just kidding. Reds, Warren Beatty. Never really liked that movie. But, he spreads it around the guys, and sometimes I think we get a little carried away. They all brag about Andy Reid's gadgets, misdirection. Sometimes you can overdo that. It's not, a Chris Angel show. I want to believe, in magic, but we don't need to pass the ball to everybody, especially Demetrius Harris, who had awful drops yesterday. Conley can't get separation. Those guys, Harris, he's always had problem catching the ball. He's not even a 50-50 guy. Conley, we can work with, and there's some hope there. But Harris, he gets a touchdown here and there, but he drops easy balls. Why we throw to Harris, I don't know. Eliminate Harris from the play calling. Let him just block, and we're going to need better blocking, run blocking with their offensive line dinged up. But, tip of the hat to Alex Smith, who I do beat up. And I love him. He was my guy. I was fully behind him last year. I thought this year was going to be a bit of a transition year. But, I don't know. I don't know about that. They can make a real run and prove me wrong this year. And I hope they do. And I hope we have that big problem at the end of the season. What do we do with Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes? I want that problem. And maybe it starts with the hunt. The hunt for Red October. What is the hunt for Red October? Undefeated in October. Can we do it? We started off good last night, but let's talk about this week's game. Sunday Night Football at the Houston Texans. I hate to say it, but it's been a weird season, and the Chiefs going in on a short week on the road with potential more, holes at offensive line. We don't know about D Ford. Zombo did okay. Ragland, I guess, got his first start. I didn't hear his name called, but I hate to do this. This is with my head, not my heart. My heart, Chiefs win 2017. With my head, Chiefs lose on the road, short week, and the luck runs out just a little bit, little blip in the hunt for Red October. They win 3 out of 4 in October, but they're probably, in my head, going to lose to the Texans 2017. That Romeo Cromwell defense is going to cause problems for Alex Smith. And Deshaun Watson, a rookie quarterback, which there's not much video on, is going to cause problems with their defense, which doesn't show up to the second half and has always had problems with mobile quarterbacks who can throw on the run. And Deshaun Watson, yes, a rookie, but is a winner and shows up at game time. And like I said, we're going to lose a close game. In my head, my heart, well, we're going to win it. We're going to win it. We're going to go undefeated in October. But the Chiefs can't win every game this year. And let's admit, they got a little lucky last night because that was a great Redskins team that showed up. Yeah, what's the saying? Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered, or hogs get fat, pigs get slaughtered. I don't know. Redskins offensive line, the Hogs did a good job, but you don't bring pork to Arrowhead, because what happens when you bring pork to Arrowhead? You barbecue that ass. You smoke that ass. You smoke that ass. That's what happens when you bring hogs there. Of course, in today's NFL with the protests, maybe it's hags get hogs. In today's NFL with the protest, hogs get fat, pigs get shot. I think that's what they want. I don't know. Just saying. Let's not get political. Let's go back to the barbecue, who Monday Night Football, the pregame, were showing all the barbecue was good, except some dumbass who showed barbecue talking about St. Louis ribs. You don't talk about St. Louis ribs. That's on the other side. That is a definite, there's a civil war in not only on the NFL field, but in Missouri. You don't bring St. Louis ribs to Kansas City and barbecue them, you dumbass. Get that ass hat off the TV who brought St. Louis ribs. Want to give a shout out to Shaggy Shane and my buddy the Brit Chief, two of my good friends on YouTube here. They got together, got to tailgate. Wish I could have been there. Couldn't. But good to see them. Cheers, mate. That shot of the day right there, dedicated. Ah! Pow! Wow! Pow! Wow! Double hammer strike! Or maybe in a quadruple hammer strike. Triple bitch slap to Kirk Cousins, who's a hell of a quarterback. I think maybe, him doing the FaceTime during his wife giving birth for a quarterback meeting. They're giving that story. Like everybody, on the Redskins had babies this weekend, which could have been a distraction because they had a FaceTime in, while their wives are getting birth. I don't know what, that could have affected the Redskins. God knows what they're seeing in the background while the wife's giving birth. I mean, nacho cheese sauce flying out all over the place. I mean, the Redskins play enough already. They probably gathered some money, raised some money to throw an extra stitch in that thing. I mean, you know what I mean? But congratulations to the Redskins players who had babies this weekend. I think they all did. It was baby fever. It's like their biological clock was ticking. The Redskins played like a bunch of chicks wanting to have a baby right away. Scary. Let's go through the Chiefs. I already did my shot. Sorry, I premature shottage, and no one likes that. The ladies don't. I prematurely shot my booze. That's what happens when you drink. A little premature. Just saying. Let's go to the Chiefs website here. There are 10 observations. Chiefs continue to be a second-half team. That's good and bad. You don't want to get into a position, like I said, where you force, and Alex Smith has proved me wrong and done a good job, and yes, the offensive line has had something to do with it, but do you really want to put, a la that playoff game 2 years ago at Foxborough, where they had 2 minutes, they had to run a 2-minute drill, and for some reason, they had to run 14 plays, didn't use the clock well, they didn't have the quick strike capability. Alex Smith has shown flashes of that, but he needs more consistency. I'll look at what Kirk Cousins does, a lot more quick strike down the field. He did it last night when we needed it, and I guess that's what counts, but that's what worries me for the future. The 2-minute drill late in the win was a thing of beauty. BJ Kissel, the BJ Kisser here said, and I agree, it was, and we're going to need that. We talked about Harrison Butt Kicker, who showed up. I coined that name last week. The Brazilian Hobbit was sent back to the Shire. You never want a bad groin. And he's short, he's little, he's a hobbit. I love him. He's got big Frodo, hairy feet, kicks the ball through. But this dude, kicker, is tall and lean and kick the shit out of the ball. Okay, and we may need that, especially with the guy with the bad groin that limits range, obviously, not only on kickoffs, but on field goals. Only thing is, how's the rookie's head? Got great confidence last night, okay? That's a huge thing. Like I said, the Kareem Hunt, comparison. Fumbled, missed field goal, big success at the end of those first games. So that's clue. That's clutch. Speaking of clutch, here they go. Albert Wilson's 2 clutch plays. Albert Wilson, he is the clutch. He is the whoopee, and that's his nickname. Let's see. We talked about Harrison Butt Kicker. He's a tall dude for a kicker, which could come in handy. Kareem Hunt puts up another solid performance. Yes, he does. But he's taking a lot of pounding. And for a rookie, football player who's in college, doesn't play more than 12 games, how's that going to look at the end of the season? And this is a problem when coming from behind. This is why we got to start off earlier. We need to get bigger leads so we can rest players and get other players in their reps, West, like I said, make a booty call, bring C.J. Spiller back. But I'm afraid we're going to wear Hunt out, and that's, but it's his choice because I think he owns part of the Chiefs. Like I said, we got two Hunt brothers. They're not brothers. Well, they're brothers, but not brothers. Just kidding. Racist alert. Sorry about that. You got Kareem Hunt and you got Akeem Hunt on there. I guess they make the calls. We got to get Akeem Hunt, share the family wealth. They own part of the team, I'm sure at this point. There's a story there that's going to come out. Just kidding. But we got to give Kareem Hunt some rest. We don't need to get him these early rookie screw the records. We need him at the end of the season and in the postseason. Don't wear his ass out now. Don't Spencer wear his ass out now. Don't do that. Speaking of Clark Hunt, I thought he was going to be the new kicker, considering all the kickbacks he did in New Mexico. What? Clark Hunt kicker. Maybe he should take after his uncles and try to corner the silver market on the Lombardi Trophy instead. Don't worry about New Mexico. Another great state of Native Americans, so I see a theme here, a big Native American theme. Arrowhead is now a casino because we got lucky. The Redskins offense came to play, yeah. And like I said, I think the Redskins looked a lot tougher and better in a lot of aspects of the game last night. Travis Kelce puts up a huge performance. Yes, he does. He's another great player. He just has got to stop whining after every play to the refs. That's going to work against you at the end. Let's see. Frank Zombo. We'll call him the Walking Dead. He's a zombie. The Zombo. Frank Zombo, the Walking Dead, did good because he replaced the dead D. Ford because he's hurt. Hopefully he'll be back. Ragland got a start too. Frank Zombo, but he's still a better special team player. You didn't see... I'm not a huge fan of D. Ford. He's a good player, but he does help on the pass rush, and he's gotten better at that, and we do need D. Ford in there instead of the Walking Dead Frank Zombo for the pass rush. Great for tackling, and they shut down Chris Thompson, who I thought would be have a great game last night because he's one of those third down backs that's fast that the Chiefs could have a problem with. The Chiefs were banged up along the offensive line. We've talked about that. That's obvious. I think we're covering in there. Conley really worries me. I just don't get it. He's got all the, he's tall, catch radius. He's an enigma. Whoops, racist. That's not racist, is it? He's an enigma. I can't figure him out. Sorry, I don't know if that's racist or not. Who knows in today's world? I'll take a knee for that one and raise the fist because I'll protest myself on that. And the home of the I love that one, the Chiefs. That always puts a little fear of God into the opposing team. You gotta love it. Let's go through here. Like I said, I'm afraid the Texans. We didn't have any. I wanted some pickoffs last night. I want to name. After the Phillip Rivers game and all those picks. I'm nicknaming the Chiefs defense American Pickers. But we didn't get any interceptions last night. But it'll come back. Hopefully we'll get them against a rookie quarterback this week and pull off the win. And I will then nickname the Chiefs defense American Pickers. Yeah. Talked about Spaz. Let's see. Clark Hunt. We talked about that. Penalties. We did a lot better on penalties. Thank God. Had a few, but not as bad. We've gotten better on that. A lot better on that. Let's see. And yeah. And, I'm glad to see most players stood, and I respect Marcus Peters for sitting. I think there will be consequences for that, but that's his right to do it, and I truly do support his right to do that. I thought maybe he would stand because of what happened in Vegas, but, I don't know. I mean, Michael Bennett should stand after accusing the Vegas police of, treating him poorly, which the videos proved that Michael Bennett wasn't necessarily telling the truth on that story. And that's how the police have to react, sadly, to an active shooter, which was a little premonition of what happened this past Sunday, which was just sick and sad, and my thoughts and prayers, go out to that. But Michael Bennett may want to rethink his story. Once again, not to get political, going around the AFC, Denver won again, and they're our biggest threat now since Derek Carr broke his back. He must have stepped on a crack. He broke his back. He's out for 2 to 6 weeks. I like Derek Carr. I want to see him come back. I want to see the Chiefs win in a competitive division. I don't want to see them win by default. I think they're a better team than the Raiders. I was wrong about. I thought the Raiders would be better, but their defense is lacking. And without Derek Carr, they're going to fall back. The Chargers are done at 0-4. Denver scares me because that I say we split. I don't see us being able to sweep Denver, but we have to play better than we did the past 2 games to beat Denver because that defense is just that good. What else is going on? We talked about this. We talked about that. Conley. We talked about. Gaines got lucky. People already emailing Pryor. I mean, how'd you let that first? That really irritated me because Pryor hasn't really caught a pass all year, and he burned our alleged best cornerback. And like I said, that's always been a knock on Marcus Peters, is if he could keep his head straight, which so far he is, and I'm glad he didn't overreact to not getting the call. That's good. But, if it does become a problem, maybe at the end of the season you trade, Marcus Peters. I know you say, why would you do that? Maybe to get some offensive line help and a linebacker help, but I don't know. I just hope Marcus Peters keeps his head, as I do Kelce is a great player, and I don't want to get rid of either one, but I do fear not only our penalties, but how they react to the refs and how that could come back to bite us at the end of the season. You got to see that, you want to get the calls, and sometimes whining on every call doesn't get you the call. Terrence Mitchell, another good game. I thought he kind of lost concentration again and had a chance for a fumble recovery interception, but at the look of the replay, not so much. Andy Reid, I think, missed a challenge in the fourth quarter on that one pass. I don't think it was a catch. I think it was at least worth the challenge that, set up that last touchdown for the Washington Redskins. But like I said, we got lucky. We got a little lucky, but sometimes it's better to be lucky. Better to be lucky than good, but I think we're both good and lucky. And every team needs, has got holes in today's NFL. It's tough to have a complete team. The Chiefs are closest to that than anybody else, but they got to get some things together. It's one thing to be a good regular season team, which Andy Reid always is, but it's another thing, to do it in the playoffs. And it's a little early to be focusing on that yet, but at 4-0, we're looking at least a wild card right now. I feel much better about that. I think that's it, Stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas, where my heart says the Chiefs will win. But, coming off the emotion of, still the hurricane relief, that it's a home game, it's prime time, it's a short week for the Chiefs. My head says they lose this one, sadly. I just got to be honest. But if they do win, the hunt for Red October, undefeated October, is on. If it's we're not going to go undefeated all year, so it wouldn't surprise me. But if we do win that game on a short week, that is sending notice that I think this team is for real, but people are going to go, oh shit, these guys are really for real. Little pow, wow, pow, wow. Gotta love that. Let's see. It's a weird season. We talked about that. Cheers, my brothers. Let's see. Catch penalties. I think that's it. And I just hope the Snow Mexican gets healthy, D Ford gets healthy, everybody gets healthy, Mitch Morris especially. That'll give us more depth. I don't know how bad that foot injury is, but so far it looks like waving Santos, which, it's just a kicker, but I already do miss him. It's hard to say that you miss a kicker, that shows you just how brainwashed I've become. But maybe he can go play for the Chargers, and it's a soccer field. He's Brazilian. He could go Pele it over there. Let's see. I think I got it all in. Josh Norman, boy, he's a man. I mean, the Redskins defense was popping. They were hitting a lot harder than the Chiefs to the point where they hurt themselves, which in today's NFL, maybe you can't do that. But I was really impressed with the Redskins. Like I said, going to be a dogfight, but we had Michael Vick on our coaching staff earlier in the season. Just saying. Shouldn't have used that term. We won it. We played good, not great. We got lucky when we needed to, and sometimes that's what it takes to be a great team. Let's go, Chiefs! Let's try to win on a short week. Not that confident with my head. I am with my heart. Gotta have heart, because I bleed red. I bleed Chiefs red, and it's the hunt for Red October. Let's all go a little pow, wow, down in Texas. Pow, wow.